All right.
Yeah, awesome. Must be hockey season.
Yeah, I know. It's great to be back.
Yeah.
We'll let a few people come in here, but yeah, it's been how was your summer? Good?
It was fast paced. Not too much hockey, but just enough. And then
And you were just, where were you?
We were in Norway, so I was working with Christian Sun Ice Hockey Club for a little bit at the tail end of my trip, and so I didn't get to meet and talk to some people from Stavanger Youth Hockey, which is a group I've worked with in the past, and missed my Oslo group. Next year,
Well,
but I haven't been there in a while. COVID set me back a couple of years.
Yeah, I think it set everybody back a few years too, especially with hockey development. I would say that. So,
right. You had a good summer as well. I see. You look like you're bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and you've been adding a ton of new content to CoachThem. So it's been busy.
There was a lot of stuff. I don't know. I get excited all the time, and while everybody is kind of filtering in here, I don't know if you've seen a few of our really cool. I'll throw this into it. Have you seen this one? So when you have multiple icons on there, if you just go and drag it now, it has these little alignment lines that come up, which is pretty cool. You're able to align it centered to that, in line with that, but centered to the ice. We also have right at the red line, it kind of has a little sticky spot too. Pretty cool, huh? If you hold shift,
this is gonna fix my OCD when I look down the ice surface and my lines aren't lined up and positioned off the blue line correctly. So it's good.
Oh yeah. But even here, if you hold on shift and you select multiple ones, we have alignment, which is really cool. Left align, top align, middle align. So we got some really cool stuff. So I'm excited. We do have a lot of really neat stuff that is going to be coming here in the next little bit, but let's get started here. So as always, man, you always look so good in that. Well, I don't even know if you've even seen this video. So we just put together this CoachThem Association one. It's only like a minute and a half. You got to check out this. This is a super awesome video.
All our coaches in our organization have access to their own accounts through CoachThem.
Let's
and we
rewind
believe that preparation is key for any successful on-ice session.
Give your coaches a way to be organized. With ice costs of average $15,000, CoachThem makes up 0.006% of that cost. With CoachThem Association, give your coaches standardized drills all in one place. Coach Mentor. Help your coaches out by reviewing their practice plans. We allow managers to access every drill and practice plan shared by your coaches. As an association, and then we understand you can't be at everything. Hold your coaches accountable with live usage tracking, creates full transparency of your coaches.
All our coaches in our organization have access to their own accounts through CoachThem, and we believe that preparation is key for any successful on-ice session. So our expectation is for our coaches to use this platform so that they're prepared, so their players are prepared, and no time is wasted on ice.
Yeah, sorry guys, a little bit of feedback there. So, but yeah, that's pretty cool. We been working at that a little bit this summer. Just wanted to. We all know how expensive ice costs, and that's probably one of the biggest things with hockey. It's probably the biggest thing with ice costs. And CoachThem, if you're almost able to, categorize it as ice costs, it's only $100 compared to on average $15,000 on ice costs. So, which is pretty cool that our platform is allowing coaches to be more efficient. But basically now we're looking at this episode, we're focusing on your association goes live. We've had an influx of 200% in the last month, and right now we're on the pretty close to being close to 300%, and we're only halfway done this month. So it's been crazy amounts of associations coming on board. But now our associations are asking, once we go live, now how do we onboard our coaches? So we're going to go through, there's 3 parts to this. We're going to go through the association setup, very, very brief, because we know that we have directors on this call, and we also have coaches on this call. So we're going to go a very brief overview of, as an association, how we're going to go from the initial discussion to getting your association live. Then we're going to go into very briefly on the coaches season prep. And to be honest, Bonelli blows my mind every single day when he talks to me about his season preparation. I thought I was prepared when I had my team, but he takes it to another level. And then we're going to go into coaches onboarding, basically bringing your coaches right on to CoachThem. So let's go with quick little overview, association setup. Hey, the initial call is us just reaching out, discussing kind of what the size of your association, the costs involved, which is basically $100 per team. We already know that. And the goals of your association. And if you wanted Bonelli to reach out and talk to your association of, maybe how to assist, as being kind of a supplemental director role, Bonelli is able to do that as well. But the second thing is, after that is done, you're going to take it back to your board. We'll provide you with a video if we're not allowed to get into your board meeting, and which this video is quick little overview. It's 7 minutes. I'm pretty sure every board would be able to allow 7 minutes in there. And then the very important is coming up with that perfect date. That date that is at the end of your season, allowing your coaches to get into summer hockey and before the tryouts start. And that's kind of that little date that's when your association starts, allowing your coaches to get onboarded and get their plans and everything. Next is adding your coaches to your association and going live.
Yeah, so I'll tell you, Mike, just going back to that real quick, if you can go back to that slide, one of the pieces of going into your boards, and I experienced this a lot when I run into the roadblock of, do we really need CoachThem, or why do we need CoachThem? You talk about the money, and really for me in our region, it's not only about the money, because it seems like everybody's got tons of money. They don't really look at the nickels and dimes. It's my time. It's okay. Are you being efficient with my kid to go to the rink, and is there actually some reason why I need to run to the rink to get there on time and make sure I'm at your practice? Because you're so efficient and you're teaching on every minute of that 60 minutes that you have with my child, you're being efficient. And I think that's really important. So when you go to an association and you say, listen, I'm a coach or I'm an administrator, I'm somebody here who wants to help us be a better program, for that investment. I mean, most programs that I work with are in that in that 8 to 12 team category. So you're only looking at, I mean, at the most $1,200 for it is crazy. So $1,200 compared to, $15,000 per team of wasted ice time. And I think that's really the selling point, is not only the money, it's about, well, we really value your time, mom and dad. So we're going to show you we're attaching ourselves to the best tools to give that time back to you.
Yeah, for sure. And there's two different people looking at it. It's the coaches and the director of hockey, and they're trying to go and teach their players, right, with the best platform possible. But then you got the board members. They're the ones that are looking at the financials of everything, right? But if you go and combine it, there's that little happy medium between the two, that they're able to go and be efficient on the ice and allowing coaches to teach with a great platform. So,
yeah.
So let's go into now your coaches. Bonelli, you blow my mind. Like I said, you blow my mind in your preparation for your season. So can I ask you, there is obviously, you ended up talking about reviewing your association calendar. What is entailed with that? What happens with that?
Well, so you got to remember, Mike, my preparation has to be a lot more, because I'm not Mike Weaver, right? I can't just walk in and a parent saying, oh, well, he played in the NHL, he played hockey, he's a high-level guy, he's got a huge hockey school, he's got, he knows the hockey business, right? So when I work with organizations, it's not really only me, too. It's me and the assistant coaches and the mom and dads that help. So I need to really make sure my season prep is at a whole nother level, because I'm almost, it's a selling pitch, right? I need to sell the fact that, no, I didn't play in the NHL. No, I didn't, play at that level, but I'm here for your kids and your children. And this is why my prep is so important, because I need to show that I need to be valued, right? It's the old saying, as all of us as coaches, that nobody knows, how much you know until they see how much you care. This is a piece of that. If they don't care what you know, right? If you played at a high level and you're not organized and you can't run a practice and you don't have a system in place, or you don't have organization and structure, it really doesn't matter where you played. You're gonna fail, and you're failing. The plan is playing to fail. This is just we hope it's common sense, but this is where CoachThem really supports me. So I review my association calendar. I want to know, when is the season starting? Like right now, if you're viewing this webinar and you're logging in between August and September, you might be late. So we really have a lot of work to do. We got a lot of catching up to do, because when I work with organizations, one of the things I have in my contract is I have to start with them on July 1st, or there's like a whole nother price structure, because it's so hard to go at something after it started. So now is the time. This is the time for change. Review your organization calendar, making sure you know when the start dates are, when the holidays are, when all the big tournaments are. Look at all that, and then figure out, from there, how is your plan going to fit into the association's needs.
Mm-hmm.
And then my regular season prep. I want to develop my season plan. I want to know, where do I want to be when I start? Where do I want to be when I end? Can I set a goal? Will my goals change? No doubt about it. But I have to develop my season plan. I have to have something, whether it's a mission statement, a one-page document. It could be right, Mike? We've seen really in-depth season plans, really micro managing the season, like as far as what the kids are eating, when they're getting in the ice, when they're getting off the ice. But at the regular, typical youth hockey program, just develop your season plan. Just know that you're starting in, say, September, and you're going through training camp, and you're going through the holidays, and then the season's going to end, somewhere in mid-March. If you know those things, now you can back in to everything else you need. Adding your assistant coaches to coach them. One of the things that annoys me more than anything is being asked to come to something and then not being allowed to teach. I don't want to be we've talked about cone pushers and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to be that guy. Add the assistant coaches to CoachThem, and then make sure they're contributing in CoachThem. And if nothing else, make sure they have your plan so they're supporting you. And then I go into creating my new drills or plans, creating old drills, whatever it is. You now go into, now if you're a long time CoachThem user, you're going to kind of go into your database. You're going to go into the archives. You're going to go into your tags, and you're going to go, okay, September 2019. Let me see what my practices look like then. Or September 2020. Oh, this is how I kind of laid out my practices, because I'm able to go back into the archives of my CoachThem account. But if you're starting new, build your new drills, build your new plans, set up your season. I like to do a monthly plan ahead. Like I can build my plans, and some of them might be blank, but I know the dates and the times, and I have them all laid out, so they're all built already. So I just go to like Tuesday, September 18th. I can go there and pull that plan up and almost build the plan as my season's building. And then one of the biggest pieces of all this, and CoachThem is great. It's great to build drills. It's great to have a plan. If you don't share it and you can't distribute it, nobody knows and nobody cares. So the big thing here is using the plan that you built, and it can't just be in your head. It's got to be do you know how you distribute the plan, and do other people know how to accept the plan, right? It's distribute it, and then are you make sure you articulate to your parents and your players and your coaches that I'm distributing the plan. This is how I do it, and this is how you find it, and this is what I expect from you when you get it.
Now we got some really cool features that I'm going to say a lot of our users don't realize we have for the distributing our practice plan. So that it's going to be, you're going to have to stay here for a little bit longer, guys, to be able to see this. So, all right. Well, that's huge. Like, honestly, like I thought I prepared a lot, but Bonelli prepares way more than I did for my season. So I love learning different techniques from different people, but I'm going to say being prepared and even taking an extra few minutes to go and draw your drills in preparation for the year is absolutely huge. And that's why some of our associations, there's that, I was saying there was that day that far enough from the end of the year to the beginning of the new season, some associations have their coaches picked for, and their AAA and AA tryouts are in July, and then some of them are in September. So it's all about, you don't have to have all the coaches all at once. It's a 1-year license to the day. So it's basically go and get a couple teams, get the AAA coaches and AA coaches all set up, and then you would onboard your single A coaches in September. So
I mean, listen, I would say if you're a paid coach in North America, in Scandinavia, in Europe, and you're not developing a practice plan, I truly, really, truly believe it's malpractice. I just don't understand how you could be a paid professional coach in youth hockey today and not have a plan in place, whether it's digital, on paper, in a notebook, I don't care, somewhere where you could distribute that plan and share it. To me, it's really unacceptable in this day and age.
I completely agree. So associations, they have to know their coaches before they go and present these CoachThem to their coaches. So go and tell me a little bit about all these types of coaches.
Right, and we've had some great conversations about this over the last year or two, right? About all these different coaches, and really this kind of falls into my last comment of, if you're, whether you're a volunteer, if you've said, okay, listen, I'm going to go out here and help these kids. I really truly believe I'm a teacher. I want to take my knowledge and my ability and give it to the children that I work with. Well, you can't be wing it coach, right? You can't just show up and willy-nilly throw a bunch of cones on the ice, do a couple of breakaway drills, a couple of flow drills, and then be done with it, and have no progression, no idea about how this connects to this and how this connects to this. And, especially those that are coaches that are in our program here that are teachers, they know. Imagine if you're a kindergarten teacher and you just wing it throughout the year, or a high school teacher and you just wing it. You wouldn't last ever. And the kids know. The king, listen, I might have gone through phases of my career as the king. Just I'm the guy on the ice. It's my practice. It's 26 kids. I'm coaching them. I know I got 5 assistants. Doesn't matter. Go put the red man in, have a chew in the corner, stay out of my way. You know, and I think that's the king, right? The guy or the girl that says, listen, it's my show. I don't need your contribution. I really don't need your help. I'm going to call on you when I need real quick stuff, like some pucks moved and a net's moved. But other than that, you're in the dark. And that to me, like to me, that is like that sets me off, because I
would find a new team for my kid.
Mike, the sad part is a lot of parents don't even see that the king is a detriment to their team. But when you lose good coaches, if you're a really good coach and a teacher and a lover of the game, you want to teach your whole life. The whole reason to go through your coaching certification and do all those hours of background checks and get fitted for your cool, Verbero sweatsuit to get on the ice. You spent a lot of time to get out there, and the king doesn't allow you to do anything. You're just there. And I think that's how you lose good coaches, and you don't get good coaches to stay with you. And on top of it, if I'm the king and I don't have my coaches on board with me and there's no plan, they can't support me. They can't be there after practice and be like, no, Bonelli's doing this because of this, and this is his idea, and this is where he wants to go. They can't help you with that. You know what they say? They go, yeah, he's an idiot. We don't know what he's doing from day to day. That is going to undermine you anyway. So get those guys on board, incorporate them. And then you got the mad scientists. And I think a lot of us in the U.S. have seen this, right, in the movie Miracle. This is the Herb Brooks drawing 15 lines, X's and O's. Guy goes here, X goes here. You fill the gap. You move in here. You gap up here. You find space. That's the mad scientist. The drills that maybe you could figure them out, and maybe the kids actually do them at some point. But it's just you're all over the place, and it's just you almost want to develop as much chaos on the ice to have the kids fail as you can, or you want to make it look like, oh, I just read 5 coaching books today and drill books, and I'm going to make the hardest practice you've ever had. And I don't mean skating hard. I just mean mentally trying to figure out what the heck am I trying to teach, and what what is a player trying to learn. And that to me is that mad scientist, that person that's the person that's every single practice is different. There's never a drill that's the same. There's never any progression. There's never any, he's outthinking the room, or she's outthinking the room. Just never being in a place where the kids can feel comfortable, learn the system, learn a drill, learn a skill, and they keep moving on because they want to show how smart they are and how good they are at drawing drills, as opposed to developing drills that are going to help your team. And then what I hope I consider myself to be, and what I love working with, are coaches that are organized, coaches that use CoachThem, use the ability to share it, use the ability to think, use the ability to build a progressionary plan at every age group, whether you're working at 8U or 18U, knowing that your time and the kids' time and mom and dad's time is so valuable that you want to make sure that every single minute that they're with you and associated with your program, that you're contributing to their success. And that's what I think the organized coach does. And that's what I think CoachThem, that's why I was so attracted to it, because that's what it allows me to do. It streamlines my ability to be organized without having to invent this great platform.
Yeah.
Let you do all the work. Let you do all the work.
You know what's funny? You always know the king when you walk into a rink. They're the ones.
Oh, the bellowing down the ice. Yeah, the bellowing down the ice. The guy who you see, like every kid's on the goal line and he's at center ice or at the blue line. He's him or she are barking. I'll give you a great example. My little guy's in a clinic right now. I said, hey, you never understand. You're never picking up on the drills. He goes, yeah, well, the coach is in the other corner. I don't even know what he's saying. I've never met this guy. I've never seen the practice, and I hear him yelling something, but I have no idea what he's saying. So, and that's the king. The king is just out there screaming and yelling, and everybody's like, I don't know. Hopefully there's a couple of kids on the team that have played for him before and kind of understand what he's, what he wants. And then he's the same guy that when you screw up the drill because you didn't understand it and never saw it, will sprint you and scream and yell at you for not understanding the drill. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just go round and round with this. Yeah. So if you're that parent and you have a kid in that team, get him out quick.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. So now we're at the third phase of this whole thing is now we got to get our coaches onboarding. And I'm going to say, getting your coaches to understand why CoachThem is needed. I think that is the key thing for this whole thing. You're going to have the professional coaches that are going to be like, oh, I don't need this. I got my drills, right? Or like even me, I'm not going to say I'm going to say that I'm pretty good about the defensive mind and figuring out and coming up with new drills. There are times that I'm like, oh my God, I need a drill, a one-on-one. And hey, you could go online and you could go and search all these different drills and take screenshots and everything. I'm like, but we have like over 1,000 drills on our marketplace. I forgot at one point, and I ended up going to the marketplace. I found this awesome small area games drill, and it was amazing. But understanding there's the professional coaches, yes, we got some really cool features for the inexperienced youth coach. So, but when you ended up bringing CoachThem to your association, what was the first thing that you ended up kind of trying to communicate with the coaches? Like, what was the biggest thing that you found?
Yeah. So my goal when we get coaches to work with an organization, and specifically my organization, is I want to keep them. Like, I want to support them. We do a lot of work to find good coaches. I mean, it's hard to find, especially young guys and girls that are giving up, 25 weeks of their life, and they're not married, they have no kids, and you're asking them to, go carting around the country with a group of 12-year-olds. I mean, it really is hard to find really good people. So what I want to do is I want to find solutions and tools to help them. So one of the ways that I do that is I talk to why we need to implement CoachThem in the association. Because if you're using CoachThem as one of my coaches, I can support you as a hockey director. I can support you as your assistant coach. I can support you as your mentor. I can support you because I'm going to see the plans. I know the parents have seen the plans. The kids have seen the plans. They know you're organized. They know what you're doing. You're on the same page. I call it like giving the answers to the test, right? You want to tell your coaches that you can give. We don't want to stump the kids. Our job in practice is not to stump them and see how long it takes them to get a drill. Our job is to have an organized plan that we can support them and then fight for them, right? Because we all know, and even the pro coaches. I mean, the funny thing is, Mike, you just got me thinking about, I get to spend some time with you up at the NHL Coaches Association. And I would say there were some pretty good coaches in that room. I mean, every NHL head coach and assistant coach is at a conference in a room taking notes and listening to other NHL coaches, right? So that just goes to show you what the best coaches do. The best coaches aren't the king. The best coaches are the ones that want to learn. The best coaches that will sit in on other coaches. And this is what CoachThem allows us to do at the amateur level. Well, and I know there's a pro component, but from an association component, it allows associations to take the plan and then build it in the organization. And honestly, going through the steps of what we have here, building an association folder. What better way is there than the collaboration? Like, I want to collaborate with all the coaches in my program. I want to be able to have that conversation, all the time as I'm building my drills. So anytime I can get my coaches on board to understand why do we need CoachThem and why do I need you using it? It's because I need to be able to support you.
Yeah. So with this association folder, you're able to get all your top coaches to go and share with it. We have a couple amazing associations. Oakville Rangers is one of them. Kitchener Rangers is another one. And they go and get their top coaches to go and share their systems, everything. Leaside Wildcats, Kim, just amazing at creating all these amazing plans and drills and assets for their association. And they only allow a certain type of drill to be in there. So they're able to go and make sure that they're managing. So now you're not just giving that team to that coach. You're giving them, the association's giving them assets. So that would be a very big thing for the coaches to understand.
Yeah, and plans, right, Mike? I mean, you could go in, if I'm an association hockey director, I can go in and build those plans ahead of time. And then all I'm asking you to do is follow the plan. You could tweak it, because once you get better with CoachThem, and listen, at the end of the day, I love coaching. I love developing plans. Like, I don't like the marketplace the same way a lot of people do, because I love inventing my own stuff. But the marketplace gives me the ability to share with my organization drills that work, that flow, that are easy to understand, that are well written. A lot have video, and I can then share that with my coaching staff and streamline the learning process.
Yeah. And
that
then
works
getting
great.
into the marketplace in groups. So
Yeah.
one thing that's really cool about our marketplace, we have over 1,000 drills, and a lot of them have videos on there. But if you go into if you follow us on CoachThem, at CoachThem on Instagram, you have a slew of all these videos, drills that we have the video right attached, and all these videos are completely rating CoachThem. So you have access to those in there. And that's another thing to go and let these coaches know, that they're right in here, right underneath our social media. So any drill that is within our social media, Instagram or Twitter or whatever, is completely right on our marketplace. Also, let your coaches know this, which is really cool.
Wait a minute. Go back to that. So you're telling me, I didn't even know this. This is great. So in Marketplace, if I don't have to go to Twitter, I don't have to go to your Instagram account to go remember a drill that I saw. I could just go in the social media folder and find the drill I saw on Instagram 4 weeks ago?
Yep.
Oh, well, thanks a lot.
You're
That's
welcome.
unbelievable. I didn't know that. That is unbelievable. See, that's great to me.
One thing though, you could go and just take any drill name and put it into the search, and it searches
Yeah, but
all
sometimes,
your
listen, like
personal,
to me,
team,
I see it.
association, marketplace, and groups.
Yeah. No, I this is great, right? Because you could go, like, I love that. I love a lot of stuff you have on social media too is from these cutting edge coaches, and not necessarily are they posting their own drills on CoachThem. And I might not know that association. So I love seeing like a lot of cool little, especially now in the summer when you're seeing a lot of skill drills, like 1-on-1s, 2-on-1s, private lesson type drills. It's really cool to know you can go into Marketplace, grab any of those that have been posted on Instagram and kind of find them by category and then use them right in your plan, which I did not know about. So that's I'm going to use that tomorrow, I think.
Well, one thing that's really cool too is going and allowing your coaches to go and be their own people, but
Right.
going and creating awesome groups, like creating a coaching group, like down here. Every single drill that's shared. So Bonelli and I share drills. He's not on this one, but this really cool guy, Mike Weaver, is on there. He shares all his drills with me. So any cool drills that he creates, go and share them. Sharing's caring. So I think that's really cool. And this allows, I just wanted simplicity in creating drills and sharing and creating plans all in one place. And that's why I've created it in this way. And there's some awesome features that are going to be coming. But guys, go and create your own drills and everything. And I'm telling you, it just makes things a little bit easier. And then help me help you.
Right. So the way I look at this,
mandating CoachThem is consistent in basically most of our successful associations. So they basically said, if you're not using CoachThem, you're not coaching here. And they wanted to go and do that because they wanted to have their coaches become a little bit more organized. And it's been amazing. You can see the stats right on CoachThem for that. But you have a different spin on that. And that's the one thing that's great about this world, well, the hockey world, is that everybody has their own opinion. So go and you know what? My opinion might work for me, but your opinion might work for you.
Yeah, and I think it comes down to where you're coaching, the association, and then the commitment level, right? So if I'm a coach and I'm getting X amount of money per year and I'm on a staff and I'm hired by an association, you know what? There might be an obligation to say, listen, you have to have your lesson plans done. They have to be written out. I've got to be able to see them every day. It's a job, right? Like you're getting paid by me to do a job. And, and when you come to most of our organizations and most of the organizations I work with, these are, these call mom and pop stores, right? But these are small, community organizations that you don't, once you start mandating in that, I'm like, listen, I'm just doing my best just to get here. So, but the way you can help me help you is by being on CoachThem, so that I can contribute to your practice plan. I could add to your practice plan. I could give you, like right now, I'm working with 2 organizations now that the head coach of the varsity team within the organization is a part of CoachThem. And what they're going to do is they're going to send their drill of the week. So every week they're going to put their favorite drill into the association drill folder. And now they're contributing to the coaches. And guess what? Those players that come through the system are going to know his favorite drills and the way he teaches and really the philosophy, whether it's a small area game or a certain skill or a certain, concept. He's going to be able to put those, pieces in place and build that culture through using this online drill system. And I love that because I think, other than mandating, I don't want to mandate. I want to help you. I want to make your job easier to be a volunteer assistant coach or a volunteer coach. The only way I can help you is you got to be on the same page. You just showed that sharing folder. I can't tell you how much easier that's made my life. And I get a ton of text messages and emails like, oh, Mike, I saw that drill you did, when I was doing coaching clinics and coaching seminars. Like, can you share that drill with me? I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? Download it, copy it, email, scan it, send it to you? I'm not going to do that. I just don't have the time. It's not efficient. But if you're on CoachThem, I just add you to my favorite drills folder, and boom, you have it. Every time I have a drill, I put it in that folder, and you get a little notice saying Mike Bonelli's added to the, added to his favorite drills folder. I mean, what better way to share and care is that?
Well, Bonelli, on this call now, everybody's going to be messaging you, trying to get access to your favorite drills folder.
Don't give out my cell phone. But I have no problem sharing. I mean, you have some great contributors, Mitch and some of the other guys. Like, you have great contributors that have built these great databases. And if I was, not in the position I'm in now, and I was a volunteer coach somewhere, I would go into your Instagram account, find guys like Mitch, and get in those folders. Be a part of those drill sharing platforms because you're getting so much. Even if you only use one drill or you take a drill and tweak it, it gives you so much more insight to all these great people around the world that are putting drills in, from Germany to Sweden to Canada to California, throwing drills into this folder that you can now take and use at your own leisure.
We also had Daryl ended up messaging on a little chat here. He said, CoachThem has been invaluable having the association buy into CoachThem. Literally just finished using it for 20 plans for skills week. So that's one of the things. Like, even with my hockey school, I have a private week with the team. So what I'm doing is I'm creating my plan for that for tomorrow's session. I would go and share it with that group that they've created, and they get the practice plan, and they are all organized when they show up. So
yeah, I mean, I was funny. I used it before I went on vacation. I couldn't make it. We did the ice hockey in Harlem camp here in New York, and I built. I was collaborating with the coaches I knew were going to be there, and I was able to build 5 days of 2 sessions a day practice plans. Did they use them exactly as written? No, but it was the guideline. It was a roadmap for them to then know, okay, on Monday we're doing this, on Tuesday we're doing this. I have 18 kids in this group and 15 kids in this group. And it really gave me an opportunity to contribute to that group without being there physically. And they could understand the drills, and they could download them and print them. All the kids had them in the locker room. It gave them an opportunity to be more efficient on the ice. And then because of the way, kind of like what Daryl was saying with a skills group, sometimes you don't know what coaches are coming to help. So by having that plan written out and printed out or emailed out to them and have it on their phone, anybody could step in to that drill and do it. Because it's built, and they could show up 5 minutes before and say, "Hey, I'm Mike Bonelli. I was told I'm supposed to be here for this session. What do you want me to do?" Oh, you're right here, station 3. It's all ready to go for you. Have fun.
Well, just wait. We got some really cool. So everybody that's on this call right now, just wait. I'm going to be showing you some really cool features coming up here. And then the last thing is we simplified coaching. We basically puts your organization, coaches, parents, and players on the same page through transparency, right? Bonelli, do you share your drills with your parents?
So it depends on the age I'm working with, but all the way up to 15U, I make sure my parents and players both get the practice plan. And I probably write up the practice plan a little bit more in depth than most would. But I do that for a reason. I do that because I need the parents to be on the same page as me. So if they don't believe in something I'm teaching, or they don't understand what I'm teaching, they can ask a question, because it's right there in black and white. They get the email. I actually send my stuff through a program called Power Player, which is the way I communicate with my team, like other platforms that are out there. But basically, they have the plan a full day in advance, sometimes a day in advance. And especially at the younger groups, like I find that if I have an 8U or a 10U kid, and I have a couple of drills in there and games, and I have some children that maybe don't learn as quickly or can't comprehend the drills really quickly on the ice, it just gives them a huge leg up when the parents start getting on board and saying, hey, Coach Bonelli's going to do this drill. Do you understand what it's supposed to be doing, or where you're supposed to be going? And, and then it really, you'll start seeing that kid won't be in the back of the line anymore. He won't be like sneaking into the back. He'll be right in the front, because he had read the plan. Mom and dad went over it with him, and he's ready to go. And I love that, because it shows me that they're engaged, they're ready to learn. And more importantly, like, I contributed to that player's development by giving them, like I said earlier, the answers to the test. I don't want to stump them. I want to make sure they all have it ahead of time. Who's the best people to do that? Well, I think it's mom and dad. I think it's parents. I think it's because they have the plan ahead of time, and they're able to help me teach the kid. I only get to see the kid for 48 minutes a day. They're with their child the whole day, right? So let them help you.
Well, for sure, being efficient and holding responsibility to the player to go and learn the drill and the whole entire practice before they show up, and it makes everybody efficient. So, yeah. Okay, so here's a couple really cool stuff that you guys probably don't know. So the marketplace new plans, just to let you know, we have, if you guys look in, I'm going to show it right now. If you guys look in underneath the plans, right over at marketplace, the station plans we have and we have them all by U7, U8, 8U, 7U. I know the US and Canada are all different with that, but yeah. It's underneath station plans, and 7U and 8U. It is 33 plans for you. It's all station based on 3 coaches on the ice. We didn't want to just do 2 or 1. We didn't want to do 7, 6, 5. We don't know how many, but there's at least it's a 3 plan. So station 1, 2, and 3. We have it all set up. The coach, all with the description. We have that all the way. So there's 33 plans for our U7, U8s. Remember, going up to this filter at the top here, you're able to click on there. We did add more. So we have all the way from U7 all the way up to U12, and then it skips to 14U. And we are probably going to add the 13U also to that as well. So go and filter it. And also, we also have the U9 to U10. So there's 33 plans for each of those. So that will help all your basic coaches. But to be honest, when you U7, U8, it makes it simple. Plan 1, plan 2, plan 3, plan 4. And you go and just share this directly with your parents. With your parents. One cool thing is, if you go and click on the prints, if you want to share it with your parents, go click on the prints. Obviously, we want you to put your logo on there. And I would click on print. So I don't know if you know this, and I'm pretty sure, I think I told you this, and you're really excited about this. This link right here, we're able to copy it. It's good for 1 year. Now, this link we're able to put into a game or a practice or whatever, and put it into notes, and allowing your parents to go and see this. I know you use Sport Engine, right?
Yeah.
Bonelli, there's WhatsApp. I know a lot of different coaches use different tools to communicate, but this is one cool way that you're able to go and share that link with it. I'll kind of show you. I click on a new page. I click on this. You can send it by text message, and it's right there for you. So, which is a really cool feature.
Yeah, that's awesome, because it's also the way, like, it's funny, a couple of years ago, I used to send, I was sending emails to my players, and everybody's like, well, the kids don't ever check their emails. I don't even know what that is. So then I started text messaging them the plan, and they have it right there on their phone, and they open it up, and it's easy to see. And there's no excuse for not knowing, what's happening. And, just from my philosophy, like what I do is I open up all my practices with a game. So there's always a game in my practices. So when you come to one of my practices, the kids are, they know the game we're playing, and they know which team they're on already, and they go right at it. There's no time to do anything else of like, okay, let's figure out what we're going to do. It's like, get right in it, and they're beating the crap out of each other, 5 minutes in the practice. But CoachThem allows me to make sure that plan is distributed to them early enough in the day, so that most players are and parents are going to text me like, oh, Coach Bonelli, just want to let you know, so-and-so, is not going to be there. Like, say the goalie, right? Like, if you have a plan for a cross ice game, and then one of your goalies is 10 minutes late, you're really in trouble. So it just allows everybody to understand, what I put into it. And then when I share it, they're sharing back to me the feedback I need to know as well.
No, for sure. And then add coaches. So I'm going to say that some of you might know how to add your coaches. Once you've been added to an association, you would click on that your little icon on the top, and you click on accounts. You would go into your association, click on manage, and you won't be able to see all this at the top. You'll only be able to see coach email and teams. You would just add your coach's email to it, and you would select the team that you're a part of and click on add coach. The last thing is click on the update, because it will be in yellow, and you're going to be able to track your coaches. So you can see the coaches, what they've been logged on. We're doing an update here that will show how many times they've logged in. We wanted to we're changing it per year rather than all time. And then also how many drills they've created, how many plans they've created. Being able to share your practice plan with your coaching staff. So if you click on share, and when you go and click on share, you click on allow edit, it allows them to go and edit the practice plan. You can get your assistant coaches to go and create a practice plan and share it with everybody, and then you're able to get the final say of that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it comes right back down to holding people accountable. And more important, like for me, I if I'm going to add an assistant coach, I want them being able to contribute to my practices. And so a question that got text to me from somebody that's on the phone. I got, how do you get assistant coaches to contribute to your plans? Which is hard, right? Because some coaches won't jump in. And I think, for me, a tool like this is when you add the coaches, spend the time to send them a video or give them a little tutorial. But more than anything, tell them how valuable it is for them to contribute to practice. Like, make it mandatory that they give you at least for one practice every week. They're one of their drills and one of their drill plans is in your practice plan.
Well, and, one thing that's pretty cool, Hockey Canada, the women's and the men's national team are right on CoachThem, and they go and they'll put out a practice for all the coaching staff, and all the coaches throughout the week are able to go and add the drills to it. And then at the end of the week, they go and organize it, and they have a little meeting, and they figure out what the final plan is. But allowing your assistant coaches to help out obviously puts a little skin in the game and gets them comfortable with being involved in the practice plan. This is huge.
Well, it's funny, right? We just talked to a USHL team that does that same thing, that all their coaches contribute. And then the head coach is ultimately the one that determines, okay, what drills are we going to take from this whole, hodgepodge of drills that everybody gave, and how am I going to make my practice flow? So, but if I don't have access to the organizational account and I can't get in, then what good is it? So this is really a good way to get your coaches involved by getting them on board. And it takes, like, you just showed it. It takes literally an email address and send.
It's that simple. Well, and then getting down. So we've done the share with plan, being able to put it on Team Snap, WhatsApp, and everything. But bring your phone on the ice. So this is what you're able to do. Since we're a web-based platform, you're able to go and have your drills right on the ice. So I'm able to go and edit it. I could move this drill and put it to a different order, click on save, have your coaches refresh it. It's right there, the latest and greatest drill. If you wanted to go and share it by a text message, it's very simple to do. You would just, and that is by a text message, which is really cool. That's the practice plan. So it makes it very, very simple to go and do that. Now, also, I mentioned there, checking on coaches. Make sure your assistants are present with everything. So that is a very key thing to go and say, hey, why don't you guys go and take the systems that we want to do, or you like the systems from another team that you saw, get your assistant coaches to do the work and put it on there and share it with the team. So it's everybody going and working together for this. It makes it a little bit easier. We also have the advanced users, hey, creating station-based plans. We got some awesome stuff coming for that, and adding video to drills. Being able to go and add Vimeo or YouTube. We got some great features coming that you're going to be able to allow other platforms to come on board too, and being able to store things in different places. But that's the one thing, Bonelli, every day I wake up and I'm so excited about CoachThem. I'm coming up with really cool features. We got some awesome features coming up here in the next little bit. But we wanted to, Bonelli and I had a little fun here, and I always have a great time with you, Bonelli, coming up with our webinar. And I think this is huge for our associations, not only our coaches, but our association directors or whoever's managing the association, to feel a little bit more comfortable of hopping on board and creating drills and creating plans and being able to create assets for your association, that it stays with that association year over year, and you go and start building up this massive database of amazing assets that every year these coaches get.
Yeah, and think about the way I use it, right? I mean, right now I'm in year 3 of working with one particular organization on their skills nights. I don't have to reinvent those skills nights. I just have to go into last year's, tweak what I liked, what I didn't like because of my own notes, and then I'm just replicating those drills again. I'm probably changing the date by one day, and then I just copy, paste in a different folder, and now they're the drills for the 2022 season. And it allows the coaches to have a lot of faith in what the drills are. They're comfortable. It's worked in the past, and we can build on those. And because most of the time it's all new coaches. Like maybe you got a couple of coaches that are left over, but basically the plan works. Just have to make sure the coaches are educated to it.
And a lot of people don't realize that you're able to go and use the same practice again, but going and adding the next evolution of that drill to it. And that's the one thing that we wanted to do. We wanted to create a whole bunch of plans that are for the U7, U8, U9, and 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yeah. So we wanted to go and create those for all our inexperienced coaches or even experienced coaches. Those are great drills for that. So we cater to both the amateur coach and the professional coach. And guys, the professional coaches, the rep coaches, right? Those guys, if we have NHL coaches on it on a daily basis. We see them all the time, and there's a reason why they're on there. So those rep coaches that think that their practices are, the biggest thing since sliced cheese, so sliced bread. I think taking a look at a marketplace, I'm telling you, you're going to be able to spice up your practice even more. So, yeah. But do you have anything, last words, Bonelli?
No, I mean, listen, I think the summary of anything we do, right, is always comes down to communication. And if you want to make a better program and you want to help your association get to other things other than the teaching points and the communication between parent, coach, and player, I mean, this checks that box off, right? This gives you an opportunity to go back and do all the other things you got to do, like ordering jerseys and doing fundraisers and worrying about hotel rooms for tournaments. Like, this is one of those easy, low-cost things that you could check off as an association president, a representative to the coaches, a head coach with a big staff. Like, this is one of those things that's going to help you give time back to your day. You forget about what's going to do to your players. It's obviously going to help your players because it's going to be a more organized, professional, distributed practice plan that you can build on. But it's just going to give you a lot of time back so you can now concentrate on all the other aspects that we have, from a coaching perspective. And, and that's what I look for. I look for how can you be efficient, organized, look great doing it, because the plans when they print out look unbelievable. They look good on the phone, but they look, you put them up there on the glass and they flow nicely. It's not scribble. Everybody can understand and read it, and you can share it. And it just helps you establish the fact that, you're an organized, professional, dedicated coach to your kids.
I got 2 questions for you. One, okay. Bonelli has been on really onboarding our new associations. He has a 1-hour call with all our different associations. He gets on the call with them. And what would you say the biggest, the one main question that you hear over and over again that these associations are basically asking, how do we go and incorporate CoachThem within our association?
The biggest thing is like, well, how do I get, why will my coaches get on board? I cannot get them to do it. Like, they just don't want to do it. And I honestly, so that to me is a red flag, number one. Like, okay, do they not want to do it because it's CoachThem and it's online, or do they not, number one, do they do a practice plan? And then I'll get, no. I mean, I had a meeting with an association 2 weeks ago. Out of 15 coaches in the room, 2 raised their hand that they have a pre-made practice plan. And I could guarantee you this: you want to see the success of a program, see what coaches plan their practices. See what coaches.
So how many people were in that room? 3 people put their hand up.
15 coaches. This is a high level program. This is like, a good hockey program. 3 coaches out of 15 were contributing to making sure their plans are better. Now, I didn't have their assistant coaches in the room, so I can't even imagine, all those assistant coaches. You got to imagine there's at least 30, assistant coaches. So none of them have an idea of what's going on. It's wing it central. I mean, it's basically show up at the rink. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? And to me, if you're an association in this day and age that wants to be successful, you want to help your coaches be successful, you want to mentor. If you're a hockey director and you want to mentor your coaches, this is where that's my selling point on CoachThem, is take the $100 out of the kitty, get 4 guys, girls on your staff signed up, and go. Now, I would say, I mean, how many organizations don't have 8 teams? Every organization has 8 teams. So the 8-team minimum I think you have is, that's done. $100 a team, 4 coaches, each team, done, easy. You get that out of the way. It's at the end of the day, like for where I live in the Northeast in the U.S., a membership for CoachThem for an organizational fee is literally less than 2 ice slots costs. 2, which is crazy, right? So to me, there's no excuse. And then on the other side of it, I can work then with you. Like, I don't work with organizations that don't use CoachThem because I don't have the time to cut and paste and share drills other ways. I need to be as efficient as possible so I can keep my costs down and I can keep my ability to help you up. I can't do that if half the time I'm at the Xerox. Do they even have Xerox machines anymore? And half the time I'm at the, I'm scanning and implementing practice plans and drawing them up. I'm just not going to do that.
Well, honestly, I think it blows my mind when associations even go and question the price of $100 per team based on they have $1.5 million sometimes in ice, and they're complaining about a $4,000 bill, which it's all relative, right? Based on $100. So my second question is, Bonelli, the whole entire time, all these webinars that we've been doing, he's been asking about this CoachThem hat. Where's this CoachThem hat? You just wanted to show this amazing hair, right?
Right. Well, I've got to use it. I'm going to show it as long as I can. So let's keep the webinars going. But I do appreciate the hat. I do, and I'm waiting for the golf shirt. But other than that, it's to me, anytime I can promote CoachThem, I will do it. And the best way to do it is I have this habit of leaving my drills printed and laying around the rinks, hoping that people will steal them. I'm like, please use this. Take it. I want you to use it. And I have seen some guys use it and steal the drills. And I think that's the greatest compliment in the world, is going into a rink and seeing your a drill that you might have made up being used. I love it.
Yeah. Well, all these coaches try to be so secretive. It's funny that they're so secretive to go and share with their parents what they're teaching the kids. So if they're that secretive, it means that they are not teaching the right stuff. That's, if I was to kind of put it in a way like that, yes, that's what I would say.
There's nothing anyways, like, I sat there on that panel, the NHL Coaches Conference, and I think it was Gerard Gallant and it was Martin St. Louis and Dave Hackstall, and every one of them stole from each other. Like, they all take each other's drills. They all want to know, wait, what do you do there on, like, what's a good power play drill that you do? Or, what's kind of a flow drill that you're doing? Or how long do you spend in practice doing face-offs? That's why successful coaches are successful. They collaborate and talk and use other coaches to help them become better coaches. And they're certainly not afraid of letting other coaches, like, the secret sauce. Here, you could have my whole drill book. Go ahead and try to beat me, because you could do anything we're doing, but I'm teaching it better. And I think that's really, at the end of the day, if you really are confident coach and you love your kids and coaching children, then and young adults, then I think the best thing to share it. And I think, making our sport a better, when I see efficient practices, I don't like gloat. I'm like, I love that. I think watching a practice that's efficient and runs smooth and is coordinated is so, I don't know, therapeutic to me, maybe, because I like it, because I'm like, oh, thank God I don't have to sit here and critique this.
Well, I honestly, everybody on this call right now, I'm going to tell you, if you get a chance, go to the in-person NHLCA. We have a discount usually with the NHLCA because that's our partner. If you get a chance, I'm telling you, go in person. It's the day usually of the draft. It is remarkable. All the amazing coaches, like you're talking about, every single NHL coach is right there. They're like literally right there. And it was kind of emotional for me because the last 2 years have been, you've been kind of isolated, and you're getting back and you're seeing all these coaches and they're all coming up to me. Hey, Mike, what's up? How's it going? And it's, and all my buddies that I played with are there. So I'm going to say it was awesome, but Bonelli, it was just amazing, that thing. Like, how many crazy professional coaches were there, and they were taking the time to sit at a table with any coach that actually paid money to come to this thing. Was pretty amazing. I think that's one thing about I love being involved with our sport, because our sport has the best, amazing, down-to-earth individuals that are willing to go and share, and willing to go and talk with people, willing to go and sign autographs. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting at a table with 3 NHL coaches, head coaches, together, picking each other's brains, and not one of them hiding it. They're like, "Oh no, here, this is exactly what we do. Oh, you want to see what we did on the power play when we won the Stanley Cup? This is exactly what we did." And he's drawing it out, and I'm sitting there going, oh, "That's pretty cool." I mean, because you never know who you're going to be working with next, and you never know who's going to be the next person you're going to be on the bench with.
Anyways,
an awesome experience. I would definitely, not to promote the NHL Coaches Association, but it's an awesome conference. I would say, it's something you need to go to if you're coaching at any level, but certainly if you're coaching, midget, junior, AAA type hockey. It's a great experience to sit at the tables and hear from other coaches too in your profession, not the pro coaches, but all the other youth coaches and amateur coaches that are there, that are really bright, smart, people that have so much impact. And I will say this, when you sit at those tables and you start talking about how you share drills, to me, it was amazing, and you must have loved it being there, because, the shareability and the use of CoachThem came up over and over and over and over and over again. And when you talk to a guy like Gerard Gallant and you're like, hey, I'd love to share this drill. Oh yeah, well, just get me on my CoachThem account and I'll send you the drill. It's crazy.
It's once in a lifetime. I'm going to tell you, pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to the next year. I'm not looking forward to going redoing 130 of the drills, because when you attend the when you attend the in-person session or online, you get access to all our previous year's drills. So you get access to like 400 drills that are right on CoachThem. So it's pretty cool. But
it's
hey,
awesome.
Bonelli, as always, thanks so much. Really enjoyed it. And make sure to use the C Series 10 to get the 10% off. Bonelli will have his link and updated Calendly all set up here. And thank you so much, guys. Have a great night.
Thanks, Mike.